Hi everyone, welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Walking Dead McFarlane Toys 2-pack of Negan and Glenn. Now this one comes with the exclusive smashed Glenn head. You can get this like it is here in colour, and you can also get it in black and white. And this was an SDCC exclusive for 2016. And what with this story arc finally playing out in the show, it seems like a great time to go ahead and review this 2-pack. Now, coming around to the back of the box here, what's really cool is you actually get a portion of the comic when Glenn is actually getting his head smashed in by Negan and Lucille. Just in case you're wondering, I picked this up from eBay. There's a lot out there, but it is quite an expensive set now just because of everything from the show and also the fact that it was an SDCC exclusive and everything. But also, like this Glenn right now, this figure has just been released in the latest comic book wave. It doesn't have the smashed up Glenn's head, but just this figure without all the blood. You can go ahead and get that right now. And the Negan was recently released on its own anyway, without all the blood again, but you pretty much get the same accessories with both figures, so you can possibly go a cheaper route by getting this figure, which is new and everywhere right now, and then just try and track down an older Negan. You won't get all the blood splatter, but you could go ahead and try putting all that on yourself if you really wish. So if you cannot or don't have the money to get a hold of this set, then you can still probably get those other two figures much cheaper. But I really wanted that head and all this blood and stuff. So let's go ahead and get this thing open and take a closer look. And here are the figures out of the packaging, and honestly these two figures together are absolutely fantastic. Now they're not perfectly designed to recreate that scene, as you'll see from the articulation, but they do look pretty cool together nonetheless. So obviously Glenn comes with his normal head with the baseball cap on, which has some blood on the face right there. So obviously if you use this head with Glenn, it just looks like he's been killing some zombies with this axe that he comes with. Which also looks pretty cool. You've got the two different types of red. You've got the darker red and the lighter red, so a more fresh, more thick area of blood there, and then some kind of older, drier blood right there. So the axe looks really good and the head looks really good. But as for Glenn himself, he's not looking all too great right here now, is he? Now, this head looks fantastic. It's exactly like what we see in the show. You've got the eyeball hanging out right here. You've got the head kind of cut off in this direction and then this direction as well. It looks really awesome, really gruesome. And then like I said, you got all the blood going down the front of the figure right here. There's none on the actual back side at all. Looks really awesome. The head is on like a dual ball peg right here, so you've got a pretty good range of motion right there. Obviously when you do move it quite a lot, you get that kind of neck lip thing, which doesn't look all too great. You got your left and right side, side up and down. Shoulders come out to the side and go all the way around. You've got the hinge and rotation at the elbows, and then you've got the rotating wrist there with the hinge as well right there. Rotation at the waist. This right here is pretty flexible. The legs can move up and down and come out to the side. You've got the rotation and the bend at the knee, which this one doesn't look all too great. That extra bit of plastic really just looks kind of off. And at the feet, they can move up and down and they go left and right, but it's really pretty limited down here. You can't really get much out of these feet. Also, I'm just noticing just how much he looks like a walker in this pose. And then as for Negan, this guy looks totally badass. Again, with all that blood, it just makes the figure feel that much more awesome. You have the knife that can be stored on his side down there, which also has blood on it. Then we have Lucille, the baseball bat with the barbed wire on top. You do get silver, and you do get a ton of red on there as well. Looks really cool. Fits in his hand really nicely. It ain't coming out anytime soon. That's very nice. And the other hand is an open hand, so you can move it over and, you know, rest it in that hand if you wish. Articulation, very similar. Head's on a ball joint. Well, technically it's the neck down there, so you can get that going up, down, left and right, side to side. Shoulders come out and go all the way around. You got the rotation and the hinge there at the elbow. Again, the hinge and the rotation at the wrist. Movement at the waist. The legs down here on the same hinges like that. This is the older style articulation. So there's a ball joint in there, so it moves about that much, and that one about that much. And then you've got the rotation and hinge down here at the knee, and then the feet are much better on this guy, although they are still ball joints, so you get more of a pivot, and but still get the same really up and down, and then you get the full left and right. So articulation on the both it doesn't really lend themselves very well to actually recreating the scene from the book or from the show. For example, you can't really get Glenn bending down because his knees don't really move to 90 degrees at all, so you can't get him on his knees about to get hit and stuff, so he's best just lying down really. This guy can't reach the floor at all with the bat, so you can't even have him like smashing Glenn in on the floor. You'd have to have him about to attack and stuff like that, so articulation doesn't lend itself to the scene that this is trying to recreate. However, the figures themselves are pretty nice in comparison to other figures that we get in the line. So size wise, 5.5 inches tall over here for Negan and 5.25 inches over here for Glenn. So if you really wanted to get some amazing poses of Glenn getting his head smashed in on his knees, you can't really do that, I'm afraid, without maybe customizing the back of the legs or something so that the legs can rotate a bit more or something. I'm not really sure how you would do that, but yeah, that's pretty much the only way that you could go ahead and do that. So if you're kind of bummed out that you can't, then obviously don't go ahead and pick this setup. But if you don't mind that, and you can certainly get some other great poses from these figures, either on their own, you know, you could obviously have them fighting zombies and stuff in your displays or fighting other characters. And obviously you can have Glenn's smashed head just lying on the floor. That looks pretty good. So I definitely think that the set is worth it. It might not have lived up to everyone's expectations as to just basically Glenn being on his knees. It's not really much to ask for, but it is pretty good nonetheless, and I definitely do recommend it. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like, and if you want to see more pictures of other stuff from my collection, check out my Instagram. It's Homerino123 and the link is in the description below. And for more Walking Dead reviews, go ahead and subscribe. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.